Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel outside the target demographic. Today I wanted to show you the first YouTube video I ever made was about this flashlight, and unfortunately we're putting it to rest. So let's get started. This was the first flashlight, the first idea, first concept that I had presented a video on here on YouTube. This was a $5 purchase at Tractor Supply. Ran on a single AA battery, is still the best flashlight I've ever owned. Held up very well until it didn't. Probably 2 years of service out of the first one, which I was smart enough to buy a second one, and now the second one is dead. Has a standard flashlight out the barrel, and then one along the side, which is very unusual. I'm still 2-3 years later not finding a lot of this type online. So between the belt clip snapping off and the electrical, something's going on with the contacts where I now have to make sure that I thread this on the proper amount or it's not going to turn on. So you have a lack of reliability. Yes, the battery is good, but I have to keep, there you go. So it will work when it wants to, but then a bump and it dies and it's on its way out. So I went on Temu and it came across two other lights. This one was, I want to say like $9. It has a built-in micro USB charging port. It has a down the barrel, a strobe, which I never understood why they have those on flashlights, and the COB, B as in Bravo, light. It's fantastic. When it's on your belt, you can still shine in front of you and do hands-free stuff, working on the car, stuff like that. And then again, my patented, but you're welcome to use it, neodymium magnet out of a hard drive I have put onto each one of these, and they're now a magnetized hands-free work light. Works very well. I got two of these on the off chance they'd be good. Turns out they weren't. The video is not about this one, but I figure we'll be showing you anyways. I got two of them. I have a yellow one for the boy. The red one is for my daughter. And when we go out into the woods walking at night, this is what they have. They're responsible for keeping them charged. You'll notice across here, that is also magnetic. So you have a base magnet and then my patented, but you're welcome to use it, belt clip magnet. But that's not what we're talking about because those are poop. Don't get those off Temu. Do get this one off Temu. So let's roll in. This is a standard AA battery. You're looking at less than an inch diameter and 1, 2, 3, 4, just shy of 4.5 inches in length. Now it's substantially larger than the one it is replacing, even with the cap on, maybe 20% larger on both the, that one's about the same, honestly. But unfortunately, I cannot find these anymore. Their website doesn't show them anymore, so this is going to be going away. But this one's actually pretty nifty. So it charges from a USB-C, which is a built-in battery, and you'll just plug it into the same power cords that I use for all of my accessories and my Android phone, because Android is a superior version. You have a tail button, which I like. I never appreciated the, we'll call it the head-mounted ones. You basically have to run your thumb across or along the barrel until you find the button to press it, whereas I always know where the back of the flashlight is, right? Anyways, so you have a pretty decent main beam, followed by the side emitter, followed by a dimmer, less blinding side emitter, and then, of course, the necessary strobe. I do not know why they add the strobe to it, but it appears to be, well, let's check it here. Just because it's not ferrous doesn't mean it's not metal, but you know what it is? That may be the battery or something inside. It is fighting the magnet more than attracting it, but it is a metal, either brushed metal or actual metal bodied barrel, and then you have plastic at either end. There is a strong magnet, or so the stickers said, on the clip. So they had my idea, they just failed to implement it properly, in that the magnet was poop. So again, a neodymium magnet with heat shrink. You can heat shrink them into whatever color you want. I find the high visibility ones, if I drop it in the grass, under the car, what have you, is going to be much easier to find. Again, you have a black flashlight on a relatively dark background versus that is much easier to find. You also get the benefit of this is clearly not metal, but just by having the heat shrink on there, that's probably a 30-degree angle before it starts sliding. So you can set it on more work surfaces without it sliding and going places. And then the metal you can connect to any screw in the wall. You can use it as a stud finder. You can connect it to the metal bits of a door jamb, a door frame, and you can illuminate into a room or the bottom underneath the hood of a car, and you can work under it. You can connect it to the axle of your car and shine it up as you're working under the car. The clip actually works pretty well, putting it on the collar of your shirt. And now this is illuminating everything in front of you at night during a walk. And I'm going to be rolling in some video here shortly to prove that. And then you should, if you wear a firm rimmed hat, like a baseball hat, you could slide that either onto the rim this way or onto the rim over the bill and shine in front of you and do a little bit of hands-free stuff. So relatively lightweight, relatively small. It's not going to be replacing this guy. Luckily, I do have previous videos about the Poca Beam flashlight, which has been filling in nicely. I feel like it's a little bit brighter, but doesn't throw quite as wide as this one does. If I could find these online, if you guys see them online, do let me know. Like I said, I got them from Tractor Supply about 3.5 years ago. For the life of me, I cannot find a side emitter AA that doesn't have the strobe and is a relatively small waterproof chassis. But anyways, this one actually works out pretty well. It's a little bigger than I want, so it will end up in my car bag, my tool bag. But I am going to roll in that video now of me walking the dog across the street in the park in the middle of very dark winter night. All right, so I'm walking the dog at a local park. This is my Poca Light AA flashlight. We're going to set it to the lowest setting and doesn't do much of anything. Okay, off. There is medium. Not the biggest fan of this flashlight, as it turns out. It's perfectly sufficient, but you can see it's very spotlighty. And then here is the brightest setting. That has a lot more area flow. I am alright, she's good doggos. Tree in the dead center, probably 40 feet away. So works nicely. We're going to switch to the Temu flashlight. First up is the only setting out the barrel. And I would say it illuminates more area, but it's not as aggressive down the pipe. The dog is maybe 20 feet in front of me. Okay. Here is the area light. That area light honestly illuminates probably just as far and quite wide. Very nice throw. That is the highest brightness. Highest, medium, and strobe, which for the life of me, I will never understand why they put strobe on flashlights, but they do. Kind of gimmicky. So as we walk, using the down the barrel one, it's not bright. The camera is not able to auto adjust so well. The dog is very easy to make out for me, and I can see probably 3 times further down the way than she is, and the camera isn't really showing it too well. It doesn't have a beam, so it puts out light. It's very, I would call it rounded edges, versus the very pinpointy light of the Ace Beam. But the whole appeal of this thing is the sideways work light. And I gotta tell you, it's very nice. On the highest setting, it illuminates more than 180 degrees. And probably maybe 200 degrees. So past my shoulders on the left and the right. And the nice thing is, since it has this clip, you can clip it on your hat, on the brim of your hat, and illuminate in front of you. You can clip it onto the collar of your shirt, and it will illuminate in front of you. You can put it on the outside of a pocket, on a belt, a bunch of different ways that you can carry it. And you can angle the barrel to be pointing in front of you, and you could do a fully hands-free movement with it. If I stand here, I mean, I'm a terrible judge of distance, and the lack of sunlight doesn't help, but you're no better. You're don't even have bioptic vision. So I would say probably 30 yards, 40 yards with the directly down the pipe setting versus the Ace Beam on its highest setting. It's weird. There is more light being sent down a shallower pattern, but honestly, I kind of like the Temu one better. I don't know if it's the light color or the way it patterns. Neither of them are bad. What I will say is the Ace Beam on sale was $16. I think it's typically $30, whereas this Temu one, I believe, was $7. And it illuminates quite nicely. The camera is not picking it up. Not really a night vision phone, as you would imagine. But we can clearly see Doggo's eyes, and she's 60 feet away. Hello, Doggos. And then if we do the floodlight I have already used working on the car, under the hood, underneath the car. It's actually a very decent work light. I was hoping it'd be a little bit smaller. I'm sure I'll cover that later on in the video. But I was hoping it would be an EDC light on my belt. My Batman utility belt is I choose to assume polite coworkers decide to call me. Let's see, we've had Inspector Gadget, we've had MacGyver. That's a classic. I've never heard that one before, but it's a little big. I find I'm going to be keeping it in my car tool bag for use in the car and around the car. But it is the first time I've taken it on the walk with Doggo. I'm going to continue doing the walk with Doggo, and I'll cut back to you guys back in the house. And there you have it. I want to say this guy set me back maybe like $7, $6, so not even $10 on Temu. I love me some Temu. I am going to say, though, there was an issue with this flashlight, and there was an issue with this flashlight, and that was both of them arrived broke. So this one, you'll notice kind of a chunk missing out of that rubber button, and then a break there and there. I had to destroy the flashlight to get to the battery to resolder a contact onto the battery, and then everything worked out fine. To Temu's credit, I sent them a picture of the fact, I think it was a video, 4 seconds, of the fact that I clicked the button and it would not power on. I got an instant, like within 25 minutes, refund, that's the one, refund on this guy. This one had the same thing. All I did was pried off the tail here and pulled out the battery, resolder the contact, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to put that in there. For me, for $8, I feel like any gas station flashlight's probably going to do the same thing. Someone who owns a soldering iron, it's not a problem for me. I do have a video about USB powered Temu soldering iron that was, I want to say, less than $10. Guys, Temu is a problem, and none of you have sent help so far. But once you get past that whole thing, it runs for at least the length of a walk, for what that's worth, using the side emitter, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 LEDs. You gotta imagine that's pulling 7 times the amount of power as your main barrel, right? And I believe it was a 35 minute walk. I didn't see any dimming or anything like that. So I would give it hour, 2 hours of perpetually on runtime, which I think is pretty decent. And then again, USB-C, plug it in, give it a charge. If we take a USB plug, you'll notice there's a red LED here indicating it is getting a charge, and then I'm pretty sure it will go to green, indicating that it is a full charge. So not only does it give you the binary, yes, I'm receiving voltage, no, I'm not receiving voltage, it gives you the trinary, yes, I'm receiving voltage, or I'm not receiving voltage, and I am indicating when I'm fully charged. So seems fairly intelligent to me. Again, you may end up data point of 1, data point of 1 of 2, because I got 2 of these, as I said. One went for the boy, one went with the girl, and this is the one that was broken. So 50% success rate on this, 100% failure rate on that, data point of 1, data point of 2. So do with that what you will. But this is very lightweight, very small. It has a rotatable barrel inside of the clip, so you can angle it to suit your needs a little bit better. Again, it comes with a magnet built in, but go ahead and throw on a neodymium magnet out of a hard drive or other sources, and you'll be in good shape to light the way. This is outside the target demographic. I appreciate you guys stopping by. As always, any questions, comments, concerns you have, leave them in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.